changes. Just bear with me. I'm gonna go with it. Yeah. So, and you're now. This is more related to your content that you've created already.
Okay.
But I came here all the way from Virginia, so I just gotta ask some questions.
Sure.
So, in your now classic video, Flea Market Flipping, Cool Weather, Cool Games Live, Video Game Hunting, from March 2021,
Mm-hmm.
you make reference to your time working at GameStop. In
Yes.
fact, this isn't the only time you reference this Mer saga in your videos. I was wondering if you could elaborate on this time period, maybe focusing on your unique insights in the role and how it shaped your developing theory of Merconomics, and how the experience informed your outlook on retail arbitrage. And more generally, what role GameStop plays in the Merconomics macro theory
Mm-hmm.
in an age of digital expansion, i.e., would a mass closure of GameStop lead to a bifurcation of Merconomics into what would be kind of the former neoclassical school, in which the price of like Wii Sports Resorts is driven not by the cost of production to Nintendo, but by the price negotiated at a flea market booth, and kind of more of a secondary modernized neoliberal camp of great deals to be had through the removal of regulatory constraints artificially propped up by retailers on physical gaming, ushering in more convenient consumer digital products. So I just kind of love to get a conversation going with you on this, and just got to say I love your content, and
Thank you.
and finding new stuff to look at with you each and every week on the MC Mer Show. And thanks again, brother.
I appreciate you. Yeah, I worked at GameStop for about 3 years, and it was a really fun time. Not a profitable time, they don't pay a lot, but I made some fantastic friends there. I got a really big insight into how the industry works on that side of the counter, and by that I mean the company itself. And I think we saw all this coming before they did, as far as, you can trade your retro stuff at GameStop now, Right before I got there, they were destroying GameCube games in the parking lot and writing them off on taxes, and now they want to buy them again. It's unbelievable. We saw the writing on the wall earlier on, and we knew that it was coming, right? And people were still cleaning out their attics and stuff at that point. People were just throwing retro stuff away, but they were trying to get a little bit for it, But if GameStop was to disappear, it wouldn't affect Merconomics that much. I know we've done a couple series on GameStop as far as using the coupons and all that, walking out with free stuff, the deals that you can really create out of that and the benefits to the Power Up Rewards thing. But if GameStop disappeared, here's the bad part. I think it probably will eventually. They've talked about needing to niche down. I mean, they've got all this money in Sailor Moon socks and pop figures, and it's ridiculous. It's not going to work.
Yeah.
They bought all this tech that ended up obsolete before it even reached refurbishment into the stores it was supposed to be distributed to. They've just made all the wrong moves. They're in the same business that I'm in on a much larger scale. That doesn't necessarily make it harder, though. In theory, that should make it easier. I'd love to sit in on a board meeting. I swear I could save the company. But it's not going to do anything to me personally. I mean, GameStop's a very small part of what I do. It's a convenience, much like you were talking about Second and Charles before we got started. Same kind of thing. It's a place I can offload some poop, and they'll overpay for it. And then I can get something nice, shiny, and new in exchange for said poop. But because they overpaid for the poop, they're going to have to sell that stuff later, and they're going to do it at a loss. But they don't think about that at that point, because they're trying to find this metric of, oh, we took in this much pre-owned this week. It's like, that doesn't matter if it's all going to be sold for a loss. But no, they keep looking at these different bottom lines and not the actual bottom line. And it's like, y'all are missing the pot of gold here. It's at the end of the rainbow, but that's not the path you're taking. That's a whole other podcast topic and a whole other panel that we could do. But I hope they don't go under. GameStop's a great thing, a lot of great memories in the stores that we frequent. But if it was to disappear, we're always going to have game hunting. There's some great deals right here that I've seen already in just the 2 days of this expo. So deals are wherever you find them. We got to remember how many copies of games were sold too. A lot of this stuff seems rare to find, but in reality, it's not rare. They make thousands of these things. We just got to find the people that have them and actually want to sell them. But yeah, I did 3 years at GameStop, and it actually was a pretty good experience for me. It was pretty cool. It didn't really change what I was doing or how I was doing it. I was still going to flea markets and buying and stuff. But I was bringing a lot of stuff to work and trading it because, okay, I've got all these discs and they're worth Not much without their cases. It's another huge mistake GameStop makes. Don't buy stuff without cases. It is worth less. It just is. But they don't observe that, so they pay top dollar for these disc-only things. I tell this story so many times, I'll be telling my grandkids. Brought in a stack of discs this big, traded them all. I paid off my Xbox One, PS4, eventually my Nintendo Switch, all new headsets, all launch games, got all that stuff free on day one. And it sounds like I did something illicit or not good. No, I just traded them what they wanted. They gave me so much credit stacked on all the ridiculous promos plus 60%. You're already overpaying and you can give me a 60% bonus because it goes toward a Call of Duty or something on one line item that's coming out. It's just unbelievable. I would hate for the ability to do that to go away. I literally brought in some disc-only diarrhea the other day, and I'll be picking up college football for free.
Oh, nice.
Right?
Nice.
So we still do that, but it wouldn't be the end of Merconomics. Merconomics is just this thing. It just exists wherever you find it. It's a mood, it's an attitude, it's an etiquette almost. It's just like, it's how to get these things at prices you can work with that will still work for the person selling it, right? There's always a nice medium in there. But again, I don't know if anybody is coming in behind. This may be the last panel for the night, so.
There's some at the end.
Okay, so we probably should wrap up so they can set up, but we will talk more about that for sure. I've got GameStop stories that can take a lot longer than the rest of this expo because it was a fun time and there were some awesome memories, and I'd even like to do some videos about that in the future of midnight releases, stuff like that I've got footage of that we never released. But I want to thank every single one of you that came and hung out here. This was a great talk. Sorry if I rambled, but I tried to keep this as nice and on the straight and narrow as I could. But we'll upload this. This will be available on the channel. Again, I'm going to have some cards up here where you can contact me if you want to schedule a consultation. That'll be something we can do. Normally, what I do is I spend an hour with somebody, and we do that for $39.99 for the hour. And if you do what I'm telling you, you're going to make that right back.